Hi, in today's tip video, I'm going to be showing you how to get the most cuts from a piece of card. So I'm going to be making some Christmas cards and I need quite a large number of 1 3/4 inch circles. So I'm going to show you how to get the most you can get from your chosen size piece of card. Now I'm going to be using a piece of UK A4 and our A4 card is 8 1/4 inches wide by 11 3/4 inches long. So the first thing I'm going to do is come into the settings and I'm going to go page 1. You can see the cut area here is 11.73 by 11.65 and that's because for standard our ScanNCut standard mats are 12 by 12 and that's the biggest area you can cut from. But I don't want to put my shapes onto a piece of 12 by 12. As I say, I'm using UK A4. So I'm going to adjust the cut area. Now, I'm going to make it 11 because I know that my piece of A4 card is 11.75. And in height, I know it's 8 1/4. So I'm going to take this up to 8. So that area I have chosen now is 8 high by 11 wide, which is, you know, a lot nearer to my card that I'm using than a piece of 12 by 12 would be. So I'm going to say OK and OK again. Now I'm going to come into patterns and I'm going to go to the basic shapes and I'm going to scroll to page 3 and choose a circle. I'm just trying to adjust the brightness for you in the hope that you can see the screen better. So now I'm going to take my circle down to 1.75 because that's the size I need. And I'm going to say I want 27. And I'm going to say set. And it's going to say to me, the maximum number that I can get on that chosen piece of card that I've just made 8 by 11 is 20. So I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to take this down to 20 and say set. And that has now put those 20 1 3/4 inch circles onto that piece of card that I've set the size of in the best possible way to get them all cut at once for me. So that's a way of saving card. If I was using 12 by 12, I wouldn't need to alter the screen size at all. You would just do exactly the same thing, choose the number and let it choose how many it can get on a 12 by 12. But as I say, because I'm using A4, I know that I'm not going to be able to get as many. So I'm going to say OK and cut. I'm going to load the machine with some white card and cut them, and then I'll come back and I'll show you. So I want to show you this beautiful pack of paper that I'm going to be using to make these cards. This is the Feels Like Frost Designer Series paper 6 by 6 and it's 48 sheets. And I'm not normally drawn to papers like this kind of photographic quality. But I've seen quite a bit of it used on Pinterest and I thought it looked lovely, so I thought I'd get it. And it really is beautiful, you know, images. I'll just give you a quick idea of what some of them look like. They're absolutely stunning. And to be honest with you, I don't think you need to do much with this paper. I think the paper does the talking for you. So I'm going to keep my cards really simple. And then if you don't like the pattern sides, when you turn them over, they're all silver foil. So if there's something that you don't like on one side, then you've got silver foiling on the other. And that's the main reason I bought this pack of paper. But I have to say, I love them. So this is what I'm going to be using. So I'll tell you what I've done so far. Because I'm going to be mass producing cards, I am using the Stampin' Up! Whisper White note cards and envelopes. Now this is thick Whisper White and they're pre-scored for you already, so all you've got to do is fold them in half and burnish them with your bone folder, and then you obviously get a matching envelope. So I'm going to be using those. I have already cut from Night of Navy card a stack of mats that measure 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Then I've cut my designer series paper into 3 inches by 4 1/2. So this is 6 by 6, so you just cut it straight in half. So you'll have 3 by 6, and then from the 6-inch piece, I've chopped that to 4 1/2. And that's why I've got a stack of these bits left over, which, you know, if I get some time, I'll try and work out what to do with them. And then I've matted them onto the Night of Navy card. So this is where I've got so far. I'll show you some of them. And because the colours in this pack are Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Highland Heather, Night of Navy, Pretty Peacock, Purple Posy, Rococo Rose, Seaside Spray, Smoky Slate and Whisper White, I think no matter what colour card you decide to choose, these papers are going to look good on any of those colours. I chose Night of Navy. You could mix it up, but that's what I chose to use. I'm going to use a Night of Navy ink pad to do my stamping. The greeting I'm going to be using is from Greatest Part of Christmas, and this is a cling red rubber set, and it's a host set. So if you spend over £150 in my online shop, you will earn your own host rewards and you'll be able to get this stamp set. And this is the one I'm using. The greatest part of Christmas is the time spent with those we hold most dear. And I measured this and I worked out that this would fit nicely onto a 1 3/4 inch circle, and I have cut those all with the ScanNCut, and that's what I've just showed you how to do. And then using that same process that I showed you, setting the page size to 8 by 11, I also did the same thing, but I cut Night of Navy and I made my circles 2 inches, and I set the amount to cut the most I could get from my piece of card, and they're going to mount onto each other like that. So I'm going to stamp onto the Whisper White, layer it onto the Night of Navy. So I've got 6 of my circles just on my piercing mat that's wrapped in some copy paper, and this is what I use to stamp on. And you don't necessarily need it for the cling stamps because they've got their own cushioning, but I use this if I'm using photopolymer, but I just want to use this today as well. So I'm going to ink up my Night of Navy, and I'm going to stamp 6 at a time. And then Night of Navy, or at least my Night of Navy, is very juicy, so I'm just going to move it out of the way to dry. Okay, so they're all done now. So now I'm just going to layer up my circles onto my Night of Navy circles. And when you're mass producing, this is the best way to do it. You know, do all your stamping first, all your cutting, and then it just makes it so easy to assemble your cards. Okay, so I've got all those put together, so now I'm going to be working on the actual layers themselves. So I'm going to use probably a combination of this silver metallic thread and white baker's twine, both of which are available in my online shop. I'm just going to leave it on its spool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on the back and just use a little bit of Scotch tape and anchor that down, and I'm just going to wrap it round a few times. Another little bit of tape on the back to hold it down and cut it off, and then you can fiddle about with it, you know, as you wish. So it looks like so. So I'll just do another one. I'm not sticking it too near the bottom. I'm just kind of going to go in a diagonal like so. Stick it down and cut it off, and there's another one. So I'm just going to do that to them all. As I say, I'm going to use a combination of the thread and the baker's twine. Okay, I want to show you what I've done so far. So I've wrapped them either with white baker's twine or silver metallic thread. Now a lot of them are fairly nondescript, so it doesn't matter. So I've put I'll show you this one. I've put the silver metallic thread and the twine at the bottom. But some of the designs, you know, I've got like a focal point at the bottom, so I've wrapped the twine at the top. Same on this one. This one's got the trees. If I'd have put this down here, it would have covered up most of the trees. So I'm going to put this one at the top. So I've still got some of the design, and I've got my, you know, my focal point, which is my stamped shape, if you like. And the same with this one. This one's beautiful. It's got these beautiful flowers at the bottom. I didn't really want to cover most of those up, so I'm going to put that at the top. And I'm going to put these on 3D foam. And the way I'm going to do it is put one on either side of my twine, and then position this in place like so. So that's one done, and I'm just going to work my way through all of these, putting a dimensional on either side of the twine, and then popping my circle on like so. So it's down to the final assembly. I've folded my cards. I'm going to put snail on the back, and then these are going to be ready to assemble. There we go, there's another one. And I'll just keep on assembling. So here they are, the finished cards. I've run out of note cards, so I've still got a few to make. So I've got some with the stamped image at the top with the silver thread. I've got some with the image at the bottom with the silver thread. I've got some with the white baker's twine. So, you know, just mixing and matching, and all from a set of note cards, a small quantity of designer series paper, a stamp set, and basic shapes cut with the ScanNCut to get the most from the machine. Now I just want to show you before I go quickly, just remember, I'm going to go to the home button to get rid of all that, go into your settings, go into the cut area and take your cut area back to 12 by 12 and say OK, so that the next time you choose a design and you put it on your mat, you've got your full cutting area. Otherwise you'll only have that small section chosen. So please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to turn the bell notification icon on. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll be kept up to date with all the videos that I post. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.